Recognize Brian because when he used to play at Church of the Now, he had dreadlocks that he had for how many years did you have it? 17 years. So there was a service. They were cremated and they're held in a. I told him I made an announcement about Metro. We had a moment of silence, and I didn't. I got to get used to seeing him without that much hair. But anyway, we're glad. And David is here with us also, and these guys came from Nashville, and they are our guests. So what I'd like for them to do is do 2 or 3 songs where you guys are just kind of here and be in the audience, and then we'll take a little break and we'll speak a blessing over the food, and then they can continue to play, and y'all can eat. Is that good? And everybody met somebody? Got it? All right. It's my privilege to once again introduce to Metron one of the smartest, most talented, most brilliant, most enlightened men that I know, and I'm honored to call him friend. Would you please welcome John Scott? John.
What's up, y'all? All right, so you guys are gonna have to sing with us, though, okay? And we have not done a sound check yet, so we're just gonna roll with it. Is that okay? Oh, am I that you are mindful of me? That you hear me when I call. Is it true that you are thinking of me? How you love me? It's amazing. Let me sing now. Who am I that you are mindful of me? That you hear me when I call. Is it true that you are thinking of me? How you love me? It's amazing. I am a friend of God. I am a friend of God. I am a friend of God because He's there. Let me sing. I'm a friend of God. I'm a friend of God. I'm a friend of God because He's there. Who am I that you are mindful of me? That you hear me when I call. Is it true that you are thinking of me? How you love me? It's amazing. It's amazing.
Come on with it.
Just sing one more song and you got to sing.
Is it warm enough for everybody? I mean, you turn the heat up if you need to. Make sure that you're not cold or anything.
I got plenty colder and different.
Lukewarm. All that. Water you turned into wine.
Yeah.
Open the eyes of the blind.
Come on, come on.
No one like you.
Yes, yes.
Not like you.
Come on, come on.
Into the darkness you shine. Out of the ashes we rise. There's no one like you. Not like you. Our God is greater. Our God is stronger. God, you are higher than any other. Our God is healer. Awesome in power. Our God. Our God. Yeah. made me feel. There I find in the mist, oceans, my face, and I will call upon your name and keep my eyes above the waves. When oceans arise, my soul will rest in your embrace, 'cause I am yours. You Grace abounds in deepest waters. Your sovereign hand will be my guide. Where feet may fail and fear surrounds me, you never fail, and you won't stop now.
That's it. That's it.
Wherever you would call me,
That's it.
take me deeper than my feet could ever wander, and my faith will be made stronger in your presence, my Creator. Spirit, lead me where my trust is without borders. Let me walk upon the water, wherever you would call me.
Come on, come on.
Take me deeper than my feet can ever wander, and my faith will be made stronger.
Come on,
In
Bishop.
your presence, my Creator. Spirit, lead me where my trust is without borders. Let me walk upon the water,
That's it.
wherever you would call me. Take me deeper than my feet can ever wander, and my faith will be made stronger.
Come on.
In your presence, my Creator.
Encore, 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 encore. You got to do that. Encore.
We don't get to do this very often, so when we got some ways of working, enjoy.
Yeah.
Just do the chorus of it.
Come on.
Yeah.
It'll sound great.
Spirit, lead me. Spirit, lead me where my trust is without borders. Let me walk upon the water, wherever you call me. Take me deeper than my feet can ever.
My faith will be made stronger. Sing it.
My faith
something in us that says, call me out to something that's bigger than me. Walking on the water, it's a metaphor for doing what you think you can do. I was joking about Patrick being here that what would have normally been a routine surgery in his case was technically life-threatening. I don't think I'm overstating it. I mean, it was enough that he couldn't find a surgeon that wanted to do it, right? And even then, when he went in for surgery, still had to go have a cardiologist. I mean, it was serious enough he had made peace with, I'm good either way. And I said, well, you're gonna make it through, and he did. But when I look around, not just that, I'm thinking of him because his is immediate, but I look at so many of you who have already done the impossible. You've already walked on the water. Some of you are in the middle of it and you think, how are we even doing this? We're all doing more than we ever thought we could do. And so, regardless of where you are, I don't even identify as Christian anymore, but this resonates with me. The idea of, not exclusively as Christian. I don't know what I am.
God lover.
Somebody, I posted this morning, sometimes I think I advertise too much about Metron, and yet somebody who's my Facebook friend wrote me and said, do you ever preach anymore or just do the art? And I thought, seriously? I never even took a week off. And I said, I don't know if I've ever identified as a preacher, but whatever it is that I've been doing for 45 years, I still do every Sunday. I still get paid for it. And I don't know that I wanted to find God. When Moses said, who shall I say sent me? The voice just said, you tell him I am sent. If that I am to you is Jesus, then fine. But whatever that is, if that's just the better part of you that's the fourth man in the fire, whatever that is, we all can relate to something in me says, I don't want to just do the ordinary. I want to push the boundaries. I want to manifest the glory of God. Amen. So everybody, you're gonna have plenty of time to eat, but can you just sing it one more time? We don't do this very often. I don't even have an artist of the month for the rest of the month. So we're gonna be doing meditation this month. So this is for those of you that like to worship, this is it for y'all this month. So y'all gotta get yours. Just sing it a little bit more. We're not going to split hairs with you about doctrine. Just get outside yourself and just go with the flow. Sing it just one more time. It's just beautiful. You guys sound so great. Aren't you glad they're all here today? Yes.
Let me walk upon the waters wherever you call me. Take me deeper than my feet could ever wander, and my faith will be made stronger in your grace. possibly the bravest prayer you'll ever pray. The Spirit lead me. Because you don't know what it is. The moment you know what it is, you've lost what it is. When we say I am, it's such a general, wide open term because the space between the notes is what makes the music work. Because otherwise it's just a sounding brass and a tinkling cymbal. And it's that space between. That's why I feel this song so much. Spirit, lead me where my trust is without borders. Without borders. There is no wall. There's no definition. We're defined by it rather than trying to define it. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how to explain it. I don't want to explain it. I want to experience it. Whatever it is, reveal it to me. Let me feel it. Let me experience it. Resurrect my soul. Bring me into a place that's brave, the place of the unknown, without definition. Spirit, lead me now. Spirit, lead me. That's it. Wherever you want me to go, take me deep.
I needed that now. Lord have mercy. All right, a zillion more people just came in, so please look again. Once again, look around, see if there's somebody you've never met. Please go to Facebook and check in. Just it says Metron's 3rd anniversary, so check in, let people know that you're here. Super happy to see Leslie here, Leslie Brisendine. That's a nice surprise. And glad to see Lana here, and so many of us that you're always in my heart. Wow. Tell John and these awesome gentlemen. All right, Avery, Ron, somebody tell me, like, what do we do about food? How do we do it? Just let everybody figure it out?
Yeah, just figure it out. Bring your food over here, cake, out until after Bishop.
Yeah, I want to tell Doc and Francis, thank you so much for bringing the cake, but please don't touch the cake until we we'll actually sing and all that kind of stuff. So don't you get in, don't you touch it. And thank all of you that have brought food. I'm sure several people texted me what you have, so make sure I get some of it. And the food is blessed. Please enjoy yourself, and the guys are going to come back in a little bit and do a little more music for you. Peace.
Leaving it running and turning the camera into the main room.
I got another picnic at 5 I don't know if Matthew knew if he got that, but he's missing it's kind of like a sinking ship. Well, also, the background where every person gets a fixed amount of money from the government. And you want to make more money than that?
No. No. You want to eat. Now you're gonna like try to put the food up there? Well, let's see which way you're both gonna want. I don't want you to leave it something else. You got it. So that's the thing. Like you yelled at football, you got to stay with your stuff. Okay? So you're about to get it on and then we'll figure it out.
Right here? That's Brian.
Yeah, we're streaming.
And you don't let it.
I'm not sure how loud I can get it, but you sit in one of these chairs, there's more comfortable. Nobody's sitting here.
lemonade. I'm not allowed. It's hot. Hey, look. How you doing? All right, when y'all finish, we're going to do a lap around the... So everybody get your comfortable shoes on. We're going to run at a real slow pace. Everybody's laughing.
Nobody's there.
You're military. You're supposed to be the first one out there. He looked familiar, but I don't know who he
All right, Miss Jackie.
is on the line. And that stuff, it's good, but I mean, it's hot. I mean, I've had 2 bowls over, so the cumulative effect. Oh, okay. What'd you do? You made this? You got skills. You got skills.
Chandra. You said I was getting into it. Avery had to come over like, you gotta turn it down a little bit. Avery, because we're not supposed to be too loud up here with music. But I kept kind of bumping it up. She's like, no, no. Yeah. So like, put it.
I was just using them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I went back from it.
No, you were good. You were good. But I just, because, you know, when it builds, it's like, no, let's push out more. Avery had to remind me. Ooh, right down.
I don't know, but you could hear it coming through the park.
Yeah. And that's why I didn't bring the big speaker, because I figured we'd get in trouble for the big one. I figured, you know.
But that's, I could hear this like almost.
We Well, this helps amplify too because it bounces off and goes
That's
out.
what I was hearing. I was like,
Yeah.
ain't nothing like a nice
Is this yours, DJ?
No, it is mine.
There's a table on the side of that chair.
Some lemonade.
It's I think at the door there, in the ice chest at the door.
They make your whole life, man. Hello. It's got what you need.
Yeah, I was looking at the liquor store yesterday when I texted you. I was like, I wonder if they got our new shop over there.
Man, I
I was
look.
tempted.
The tower is down the street from my house.
So right now I just put on an external microphone. With just Jim, it sounds really good. But the way I have it, I left the wire in my car. I would have wired it better, is what I'm saying. The way I have it wired, as soon as they started music, it was just like, so I just flipped it to the external microphone. Or internal, whatever. I flipped it to the camera and it picked up. It wasn't as good, but you could hear everything. So when you can let it speak, I'm going to flip it back to the external and we should pick up the microphone directly.
Better work it out.
If you let me know before you do your message, I'm going to flip the mic differently on the camera.
I'm not really doing this.
All right. Well, anything that, we can hear you okay through this, but music you really hear. I'll flip a switch where we hear you directly, but no music. Not the deal.
Has everybody met somebody that you haven't met before? Don't just talk to the people you know. I want you to meet somebody you haven't met before. Because sometimes people come and they don't know everybody and they're here the whole time and nobody talks to them. So please introduce yourself. This is a great turnout and the food was great. Y'all can slam with some cooking. I will admit that. I wouldn't know since none of y'all have ever invited me over to your houses, but I'm glad once
You're never in town.
In a minute, they're going to play a little bit more for us, and then we'll have some more time on the mic. We are streaming from the park today, so your eating may be put on the World Wide Web. Just give you a heads up. You look pretty.
We're in the, yeah. get through this way a little bit too. You better be smooth.
We welcome you wherever you are.
I said I better be smooth.
We're glad to see Tony Howard here today. I can't talk to him because I'm not allowed to talk to people with less than 7% body fat. So I said he passed the legal limit of hotness. I can't talk to him. I'm glad you're here. I think I acknowledged everybody.
Oh, yeah, Angel's the only here. Oh my God, something
No. Bless his heart, he's in dreadlocks. He's dessert.
Angel never shared it. Not even that big. He's the guy who made it.
I remember the first time I shaved my beard. Jonas on the line.
Right, August, because there's people here.
Children come out and
Good, he needs to learn. There's people out here like this who take a small break. Don't do anything in me. Yeah, little Oreo
Do you have any
Yeah, it's a brand.
How your other one? Yeah, learn that what makes God happen is when you go your page. When the get cracked. So we're gonna make sure you say everything.
While we're waiting for Brian to finish the dessert so they can start playing again, does anybody have some good news you want to share with us? Something that would make everybody happy to hear that's happened in your life? Anybody got anything? No? Nothing happened in your life at all? I didn't. Finish. Yes, Rachel's got something to say. Y'all listen. If you didn't hear that, what Rachel said is she just moved into a group home, and that's a big deal. And from what I heard, she went in and took over. So, but it's really good. Rachel, Jackie showed us pictures of it last week. It's a beautiful room, so we're very excited for her to get some independence and be on her own. That's awesome. Anybody else got any good news you want to share with us? What you got, sister? Come on up, let the Lord use you.
I am now cancer free. I've got all my chemo.
She finished all of her chemo treatments. And they did something really that Mom would say is they did something that was pretty smart at the end of it when she had some downtime. They took a cruise, and I thought that's a good way to heal. You know what I mean? When you're supposed to be kind of stationary. That's a good time to take a cruise. It's because you're just laying around drinking anyway. So I thought that was pretty smart. So if I don't want any of y'all to get sick, but if you do, go on a cruise. It seemed to work for Sonya. What you got? Come on up, sister.
So Patrick and I have a new grandbaby.
Oh, congratulations.
His daughter and her wife just had a baby. He is 8 weeks early, so he's still in the hospital, and he'll have to live in the NICU till the end of September. So keep him in your thoughts and prayers, and send out good vibrations for little Spencer. He lives in Ohio, so we haven't actually gotten to see him yet.
Awesome.
Yeah.
We send healing vibes to Spencer and say that he is well and completely on the right path to total recovery. Congratulations. Anybody else got some good news? Yes. Leslie, come share with us.
Okay, you remember that we're somewhere in the future and we look much better than we look right now. And so this is what we were bringing in when the millennium came.
Yeah.
And so here we are, and I thought Joe would be here beside me, but he's here, and he's such a mighty wind, and he loves all of us. And
Amen. We receive it. If you don't know, those of you that don't know, her husband, this would have been your 37th anniversary last week. He transitioned, and we are still ticked off about it. We want him to stay here, but he is still very much alive, and he's on the other side, and has sent a couple of messages to me via Leslie that were pretty spot on, actually. And so we're just particularly happy that she's here today. And yes, you're right. That was those of you that don't know what she's talking about. At the turn of the millennium, when we were at Church of the Now doing all that with Kim Clement and all there was so much prophetic that was happening. None of that's wasted. All of that stuff is still being manifested. And where we are, when she says where we are here, she's not talking about just today. She means where we are on the journey. We ushered that in. And we hear what you're saying. That's the interpretation of the message in tongues she just gave. So, what's that? Well, how do you want to say it? We're just to say we love you, Joe. We love you, Pastor Joe. And you are surrounded by a great cloud of witnesses. Joe, I believe you can hear us. We wish you were here in bodily form, but we're very persuaded that you are very much alive. And Das led us all in a big hello to you on the other side. We love you. Good. Now, you know y'all are crazy, but anyway. We won't hold that against you. Well, she hasn't forgotten it. That's awesome. We love you, Das. Well, don't just stand there. What you got?
All right. Hey, everyone. On August 10th, actually, it'll be a year my mom had her liver transplant. So,
and she's doing great. Y'all remember at Church of the Now Midtown when she was going through all that liver situation, and we kept her in prayer. And she came one night, and we spoke over her, and she's I mean, a liver transplant's a big deal, and when you hit a year mark, that's good news. Yeah. Somebody else got some good news? Yes, ma'am. What you got, Amanda?
So I recently started working at an event decor company, and I've been getting involved with doing stylized photo shoots for like weddings and stuff. And I'm organizing a Star Wars themed one, and the Westside Cultural Arts Center volunteered to be a host for that venue. Yay!
Amanda, you're so cute. I love Amanda's energy. She's just pure light. I love it. Somebody else got something? What you got, Miss Brenda? Come on up.
Last year when I did security for the Falcons, I was just a little old worker. This year when I do the event for the Falcons.
Did you make cheerleaders? Are you the Falcon cheerleader?
I'm going to be the supervisor. I'm in charge now, but I'm going to be a good supervisor, though.
That's awesome. Congratulations. I just live a few blocks from there, so we walked up there last night, and Ken took some beautiful pictures of it. It's incredible. I saw that you posted you're going to be working there. I was like, Lord have mercy. That would be a good Metron outing. Falcons game. Cool. What's that? Box seats. Speak it. We put them box seats out in the universe. Somebody else got some good news. What you got, Robin? Robin came all the way from Alabama to be with us today. And walked in her high heels all the way across Piedmont Park from the other side.
I live in Birmingham now. I'm from Georgia, and sat under this man's wonderful ministry for many years, and it's really cool. I just got this new job that I've been waiting for 6 months. I've interviewed for it, and I'll be in property management. I've been in multifamily property management for 15 years, but I finally got a property with Greystar, which is the #1 property management company in the country. So I'm moving up. And it's a mid-rise, beautiful luxury community in downtown Birmingham, and you're not going to believe the name of it. The Metropolitan. Go figure.
That's awesome.
I'm really excited about that.
Congratulations. I don't know how recently, you've been to Birmingham. Birmingham's amazing. I mean, it's, sometimes people from Georgia have a thing in our mind about what we think Alabama's like. Birmingham is, Christina's wanting to start a store over there too, because it's very, very cool. So that's awesome. Awesome. We'll take a couple more before the guys sing. Anybody else got some good news you want to share? Is that it? I want to say, before I forget, I don't know what I would do without Avery. You can't believe how much effort she puts in behind the scenes. She is a one-person staff, but she put a lot into getting these cups. It's got the Michelle actually designed the logo that we have, but we got it translated into a black and white, and then on the back it's 3rd anniversary picnic, August 6th. And did you say this is 16 ounces? Yeah, 12 ounces, yeah. And I don't want to say who, but somebody spiked some of the punch today, so I'm feeling no pain. When I think of the goodness of Jesus. I think it's all going. We have to pray for a miracle. Turn the water into lemonade. But anyway, and we'll do the cake in a little bit. But would everybody just tell Avery how much we appreciate all that she does? I don't know if you saw. And of course that means Colonel too, but as long as he can watch sports, he's fine with her working around the clock. So they have a great situation. But I don't know if you saw the picture of what, I think she actually saw something that Aaron didn't Aaron have a bobblehead made for you, Charles? Well, it's a company in China, and she had one made for me, and it's like incredible. It's like one of the coolest things. And it took about 10,000 emails going back and forth for them finally to get it right. But look at my Facebook page, you'll see it. We appreciate her excellence. She's the one that rented the place for us today and did all the coordinating. So we appreciate it. All right. The guys are going to come back and do, 3 or 4 songs for us. You're free to stand, you're free to dance, you're free to whatever. And then we'll have a little more time on the mic. Company.
Thank you so much. Yeah. When the night has come and the land is dark, take your place. See only light you see. He wants to take your place. No, I won't be afraid. No, these are my friends. So darling, I can see all the obstacles in my way. Gonna let the dark clouds that one time we fly. It's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day. Yes, I can make it now. The pain is gone. All the bad feelings have disappeared. Here is that rainbow I've been praying for. It's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day. Come on. All around you, there's nothing but blue skies. Look straight ahead, there's nothing but blue skies. I can see clearly now. Rain is gone. I can see all the obstacles in my way. Here is that rainbow I'm praying for. It's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day.
Sounds awesome.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound. Save someone like me. More than one time. I once was lost and now found. Blind and now I see.
That's right.
Grace that taught my heart to fear. Grace my fears relieve. How precious is now I first believe. My chains are gone. I've been set free. My God, my Savior has ransomed
Come on now.
Unending love, amazing grace. My Savior God, I feel set free. I got my Savior has ransomed me, and like a flood, mercy reigns, unending love, amazing grace.
Wow.
Unending love, amazing grace.
Go, John!
All right, and that calls for a love song. Any of y'all ever been in love? Yes. Small suggestion: if you came out here with somebody else's ring on your finger, you might want to say yes to that. Didn't you? Anybody ever been in love? Yes. All right, so this is a song I wrote with my friends Bill DeLuigi and Jane Bach in Nashville, and it's going on my new record, which, by the way, I'm recording a new singer-songwriter album that planning to even release a single off of at some point because I want to. And I've had a chance over the last 2 months, 2 different times, to play at the Bluebird Cafe in Nashville, which is that's a bucket list thing, and apparently I get to put it on the bucket more than one time. So, but when we wrote this song, we were in a Sam Cooke mood, and a Sam Cooke mood's a good mood to be in.
Sometimes it's heaven, baby. Sometimes it's hell on earth. Sometimes there ain't nothing there. Sometimes there ain't nothing worse. Feels like I'm flying when I'm falling heart first. Sometimes it feels so right. The truth is sometimes it hurts. But I just want to fall asleep so I can dream about you. It's a little less lonely than going through another night without you. Yeah, your love is dangerous and I'm hooked on. I got no one else to blame, 'cause I should've known that sometimes it's heaven, baby. Sometimes it's hell on earth. Sometimes there ain't nothing better. Sometimes there ain't nothing worse. Feels like I'm flying when I'm falling heart first. Sometimes it feels so right. It's so right. Yeah, but sometimes it hurts. When we're together, it's like blue sky weather. Baby, let it stay like this forever, 'cause it feels like I'm flying when I'm falling heart first. Sometimes it feels so right. So right, yeah, sometimes it's heaven, baby. Well, sometimes it's hell on earth. Sometimes there ain't nothing better. Sometimes there ain't nothing worse. Feels like I'm flying when I'm falling heart first. Sometimes it feels so right, but sometimes it hurts. Whoa.
somebody says, well, how do you transition from amazing grace to sometimes it hurts? We're just all telling the truth. You know, a long time ago I decided to be real, and well, what a difference that makes. It's a lot more peaceful than mine.
That's right.
So this is a really old song. Mahalia Jackson, arguably one of the best voices of gospel music ever. And so this is a favorite song of mine that she did. There are some things
Get it, baby.
I may not know. There are some places I may never go. There is one thing I'm sure of. My God is real, for I can feel God in my soul.
You better sing that song right now. That's all I'm saying. Well,
Who may not believe, and that is okay. That's okay.
yes, it is. Yes, it is.
See, I've seen. Yeah, Lord, my God is real. What I can feel, His mighty power. Yeah, my God is real. Healing my soul. My God is real. Oh, yeah, I've been ready to go. Oh, His love for me. Come on now. It's just like you know. My God is real.
Hold it. I want to do a Metron Sanctuary Choir today. So those of you that can sing, Patricia, Larry, wherever Chandra is. So there's an echo part to it. Y'all come back like you don't. Brandon, can you sing? You sing? Yeah. Sonia, Susan, you can sing. So we all know the. Come on, Larry, you know the echo part. It's just a natural echo to it. Eddie, you can do this. Come on, I need a choir. I need a choir. Show me. What the hell? Get up here.
What the hell are you doing in here? My God
our song. Once again, tell John you guys how much
Apparently I hadn't got enough yet.
We might have one more.
I think you better.
You have a stick? Oh, yeah. I just done the news. It's a lot
If I lay here
And there's no place like Metron. You're singing If I Just Lay Here, and Leona's over there raising her hand. Only Metron are we doing My God Is Real as we segue into If You Just Lay Here. But also, I'm going to let them work it out if they want to, but these two gentlemen who are friends of John's are getting married today, and John's getting married. And I told them, I said, we've got the place till 11 o'clock. I don't want you to sit here for hours waiting. So if you want to incorporate into what we're doing, we're fine with that, and we'll all be witnesses. Or if you want to go somewhere else, we won't be mad at you. Y'all can talk amongst yourselves and decide that, because I don't want to make wedding plans for you. But one does what one. I did DOS as well. I've married a few of you. Around here. Are you ready? Did that work out? Okay. This is her first time singing for a group like this, so I want you to please pay attention. Would you please welcome our friend Brandy? Brandy, come sing for us.
Thank y'all so much for being willing to listen. I knew I was going to get in trouble if I didn't sing today, so. But yes, I'm Brandy Nicole. Nice to meet y'all. Can you turn it up a little bit? Oh.
to her competition.
That. So, singer, songwriter, you better go. Haven't you just recorded something? You've just done a recording, right? Tell us about it.
Okay, so in a proper studio with proper practice, I was able to put out an EP titled Mood Music. Is on iTunes and Spotify, SoundCloud, if y'all have that for free. I also just dropped a single as well.
So it's Brandy Nicole. Is that Brandy with an I?
Brandy with a Y and Nicole with an H.
Brandy with a Y and Nicole with an H. Go to iTunes, download it. Keep your eye on her. She's an up-and-comer. Once again, Brandy Nicole. Yeah. Girl, you can put on your resume. You sung at the Metron 3rd anniversary celebration. That's going to open some doors for you right there. Somebody says, well, where have you appeared? At the Metron 3rd anniversary. Like, oh, well, then by all means. I just want to make a few comments. I'm not going to teach or anything today, but I just want to say once again what a great, this is like twice the number we had last year for the 2nd anniversary. I mean, it's just really awesome that everybody came out today. And August is going to be, y'all decide to go over there? Okay, well, you're welcome, but all right. Well, Mazel Tov and congratulations. A few things. Are we still streaming? Wow. Give it up for Charles, who can come to Piedmont Park and create streaming. I mean, that's just, I don't know if you realize that's like a miracle. So I appreciate him. Of course, I always appreciate BJ, who's awesome. Everybody give it up for the Beach. Excellent tech team. This month, I don't have after John today, I don't have an artist of the month, but this is what we're going to do is, now on the 27th, I have a guest who's coming, and you're going to like this guy a lot, Calvin Witcher. Some of you are friends with him on Facebook, and he's a contemporary of Carlton Pearson's. He's going to be with us that morning, and then with Judah at 5 o'clock. He's going to be on the 27th, and we're going to kind of, I don't know if we're going to do an in the now, but it'll be like it'll be in that flow. But what I'm going to do, instead of doing an artist of the month, every Sunday this month I'm going to lead you in a meditation, and this is kind of new for me, but this is really cool, and I love green lights from the universe like this. Charles and I have been talking, and Avery and I have been talking about how do we do it. Should I wait? Should we not stream and do that part? Because if I'm sometimes when you're using music, it's copywritten and there's issues when it's on YouTube. Sometimes YouTube will take it off if you don't have permission. And I said, well, we'll pay for the copyrights, whatever. There's a whole thing you have to go through when you do music. That's why sometimes when what we post isn't on immediately, it's not their fault. It's always because of copyright issues with whatever somebody's saying. That's why it's great when somebody does their own stuff, because then we don't have to go through all that. And I'm not mad at that. As a songwriter myself who is owed thousands of dollars of royalties, I understand that. But anyway, this was really cool. I was thinking, should we stream it? How do we do it? And would that be boring for people at home? Like, I don't know, because I want us to take the lights down. Well, anyway, Friday night, I hadn't seen Ken all week. We went out to dinner. I wasn't feeling all that great. We came home. And I was just kind of sitting on the couch, dozing off a little bit. And I saw Jimmy Fallon come on, and he says, tune in at 11:30. We're going to lead a meditation on The Tonight Show. I was like, what the what? So this is amazing that I just asked, how would you do that on TV? And he's had this guy, I don't remember his name, but he has a meditation app that all these celebrities have downloaded, and you can carry it with you on your phone or whatever. But they actually, in the Tonight Show studio, took the lights down. Fallon came and sat next to him on the sofa. It was no big deal. It only lasted about 5 minutes, but he led everybody in a meditation. There's nothing spooky or weird about it. It was just basically being quiet and becoming aware of your breathing. And I know Jeff and Marty go to a meditation class. They could probably tell me. I know there's a whole thing about why you inhale through your nostrils and exhale through your mouth. And there's all these. It's just a relaxation technique. And I thought that's just amazing that I was just thinking, how do you do this on streaming? And there it was. And so we still haven't figured out exactly, for those of you that are streaming, for August, if we're not on at 11 o'clock, that's why. We'll be on as soon as that's over. So I don't know yet, but it's going to be really, really cool. And in September, we'll be back with an artist again. I might have Marshall come back. I don't know yet. But I'm very excited about what's going to happen in August. And I love that so many of you that have, you say sitting under my ministry. I don't know that that's how I would say it. I think you're on the journey with me. And I love that so many of you who we've already been through a lot of our spiritual journey together. And now look where we are. And I don't know, from my vantage point, it's better than ever. I mean, it really is. It's better than ever. And I love now that, like, I can teach something and Ro will come say, I just heard that at a seminar I was at or whatever. It's confirmation everywhere. And I don't have to preface it with, oh, nobody thinks this is controversial. I mean, we're so past that. Now everybody's like, yeah. What's the next thing? What are we doing? And it's really, really cool. So I don't know exactly how everything's going to turn out next week, but I do believe it's a new era for us. And what I love, John's leading worship in here, and everybody's worshiping too. It's like, I love that it's not either or. It's like, well, what are we having tonight? Are we doing fried chicken or are we eating Chinese? It's all, you know what I mean? It's all, I like it all. That's why when somebody says to me, what's your favorite kind of food? I don't have a favorite food. I like everything. I don't even think I have a favorite restaurant. I have different restaurants that I like for different reasons. Somebody says, what's your favorite song? I don't think I have a favorite song. I love music, but I don't, I just love music. What's your favorite way to worship? I don't have a favorite way. If we'd done a couple of more things of My God is Real, it was about to get real up in here. That was real now. Woo! We could have done that for a minute, except I couldn't get y'all to. Our work is never done, Chandra. I want to be in one of those choirs that walks down the aisle. It takes them like forever to get down the aisle. That's what I want. Where you just like baby steps. That's what I love. Anybody else have a thing you want to share with us? This is what I'd like to do for a minute before I'll let him finish out and see if they want to sing anymore. But I'm not asking you to talk about me. I want you to talk about Metron. I'm curious, has it played a role in anybody's life in 3 years? And if so, if it's something that you think is worth talking about, I would be interested to hear. So, yeah, Natalie, you have to come up. No, you have to, because people won't hear you.
So, Metron has made me realize that there is nothing better out there. Because when we left Church in the Now, and he came up here, I'm like, it's so far away. There's nothing for the kids because we have little kids and they love church. But we tried to go other places and I would literally sit in the church and cry. And not because
really 20 places?
No, it was okay. I would cry because it sucked so bad. That's how terrible. I'm crying and everybody's probably thinking, oh, she's being touched. No! It was just that horrible and I hated it. And there's seriously no other like you. I mean, you are.
I said keep it about Metron.
Everyone. There's no other like you guys, like us, like this. I mean, it's incredible. It's amazing. It's the best. There's nothing better. You can try to go somewhere else, but you're going to sit there and cry, I promise.
I love it. I wasn't going to push y'all about being here today because technically Patrick is supposed to be off his feet for 8 weeks. But was it last year's picnic? That was kind of when y'all started coming, right? No, because you've been here for a little bit.
No, but last year's picnic, he just had a heart attack.
Oh, Jesus. I remember there was something significant because when I did a little photo album online about Piedmont Park, and yours was one of the. There's a picture of you worshiping that I really love, and I just used one of those pictures. So I was remembering it was something about last year that was kind of a milestone. Patrick and I have actually known each other for a long time. He actually first came to church in the now when I was like even before the grocery store. I think you even came like on Royal Drive, and I called him a couple of nights before what was supposed to have been his surgery, and we started talking. And I said, I don't have to pray for you. I said, let me just remind you of all that you've already overcome. I said, first of all, you're not going to die, so just stop. That's not going to happen. But let's just talk about all that has happened. And by the time we got off that phone, I was encouraged. I was like, well, I'd forgotten all those things that happened. So that's really cool. So thank you, Natalie. You don't have to cry anymore. We'll take 2 or 3. Anybody else? Beth? So y'all found the restroom, huh? Das?
We've been on this journey a long time, too. And I can honestly say it's been 20 years today.
Wow.
I mean, 20 years. We were in the grocery store.
Wow.
And everything that I've come through with this man and a lot of you. When I came, it was just months after my mother had passed. Within the last 3 years, I've lost my father and 2 sisters within 3 weeks of each other. So, honestly, if it hadn't been for all of you, and I mean, even him calling me, and sometimes they went to Bette Midler, and when my dad passed, and sent me live her singing "The Wind Beneath My Wings," and it couldn't have been a better thing because my daddy was my hero. And honestly, when my sisters passed last year, he just called me and he said, honey, I don't know what to say to you, but I'm here. And that was it. There were some of you that texted me and called me to just check on me. And I knew you were here. And I felt you. And it kept me going. And that's been the thing. I have gone through so much transition. And for the most part, it's been very good. But the strength of this body and the love and the positivity, for lack of a better word, has kept me up here when I could have been, at a point where I wanted to give up. It's kept me keep going. And I asked him, I said, why am I still here? I'm the only one left. But I know it's because of all I've been through. There's somebody else that needs what I'm learning and what I'm getting and everything I've overcome. As we heal, we talked about this, we become healers.
Absolutely.
So that's where I'm at. As I'm healing, I'm becoming a healer.
I love it. I love you, Beth. We'll take a couple more. Anybody else? So only Natalie and Beth are the only ones that like Metron. Well, all right. Is that it? Is that it for everybody? What you got, Patrick?
Natalie said that, it was discouraging when we were out looking for churches. And when I saw her cry in a pew, oh my God, that messed me up. But it was when she thought she found a place. And after weeks and weeks of going, and all of a sudden the guy started bashing gays. And I just saw her just sink in her chair. And it was the most disappointing. My heart never hurt that much to see her heart hurt. It was just
like the children's ministry that they were saying.
But it went weeks and weeks and weeks.
You start with the kids, and if they say anything to you, then here's what you say to them back. I'm like, no. I was done.
But what I want to say is, is that Metron is my family. I told her I have to go down. This is my family. I have no family. This is it. And it's not like this is it, but this is it. You guys are awesome. You've gotten me through drug addictions. I was in the streets 10 years ago. I mean, it's incredible where I've come from. I shouldn't even be here today. You know, I mean, by logic of man, I should just be in the streets dead. But it's by this fellowship, this family, that lifted me up and encouraged me when I couldn't see nothing good in me. You guys saw good in me till I saw it.
Awesome.
You know, and then it's just incredible. And I couldn't miss this. There's no way.
I love it.
So,
I love it. Awesome. Frederick, were you coming up? What you got?
I just wanted I just wanted to say this, if you turn around and look at everybody look at everybody. This is a community. Mm-hmm. And even today when we came, we were able to reach outside of what we have here and share with those people out there. A community builds up, it never tears down. A true community of love builds up and never tear down. I appreciate all of y'all because this is a place where you can walk in love, you got liberty, and you got freedom to be who you are whenever you want to be and don't have to worry about being judged. And I like to say the anointing falls from the head down. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, bud. I love you, Frederick. You're a good man. I love you, Freddie. And what was it that you made, bratwurst, that you brought me? You got skills. That was good. Yes, Das. Yes, Das. Don't act like you haven't done this before. I don't beg, girl. You better get on up here or I'll move on to the next person. Come on.
The thing is, I was going to say, I love you. I love Ken. I love Miss Avery. I love Ernie. Everybody, all you, especially Bill. I don't know how you take me, but you do. And Beth is my homegirl. Y'all know that. But what I was going to say is, Das can be a strange person if you meet her and don't know who she is. You'll say, she's a little crazy, a little strange. Right, right, Bishop?
Even those of us who know you said
At least you tell the truth. So I'm saying, to be a strange person and walk in the Metron Church in the Now and be accepted,
yes.
I knew I was strange. I said, these people must be crazy. I mean, I'm loud. I talk all the time. I laugh all the time. I don't shut up. And, yeah, I do that too. Sometimes I'm an animal, a double animal, besides human. And you guys, you accept me. And I mean, where could you find that? No place but Metron. And I'm telling everybody who left, y'all better come back, because I know y'all lost in space. Warning.
Danger, Will Robinson. That's good. That's a good one. That's good. Now, let's tell you something about Das and her energy. And she knows me well enough. If it's time to, she gets it. But on more than one occasion, like when people say, what do you think about that woman that does the, I said, look, there have been several times that the audience needed a little spark plug. I wasn't mad at it. I was like, can I get a, whatever the, like, there's a time for everything. And, I don't think you're strange. Das is nothing but love. That's all that is. That's what love looks like. All right, your time is up. Did you marry him already? Well, that was quick. Congratulations. What? Yeah. Say whatever.
So like I don't have, this is not news to you guys, but this gentleman here has always been ahead of the curve. There's, you can't say that about everybody, because there's a lot of people making stuff up as they go along, and then there's other people who just plagiarize. They show up when everything's built. This guy builds stuff. So, when I see this, when I see what's going on here, there's a vortex. There's something going on in the middle there. It's that space between. That's kind of where I've been lately, is that space between the notes makes the music make sense. It's the activity it's the nucleus that's in the middle of the atom, the atom, the atom that makes all of it work. There's a synergy, there's an energy, there's an activity that takes place with somebody who's willing to lead. Now, see, I'm not trying to stroke the ego here. What I'm saying, though, is you have a forerunner. You have somebody who foresees and forecasts. And that takes a lot of bravery, and it takes a lot of guts, and it takes a lot of being authentic even when it hurts. And people like himself who can absorb the pain of a pioneer is somebody worth following. Not because of perfection, but because of bravery and courage. And you guys are setting a bar for this area, because what we're seeing now is the dismantling and the deconstruction of what we've known church to be. It's time for it to happen, though, right? It's all falling apart, and that's why people are freaking out. You know, when we started our podcast, Holy Heretics, we had no idea the people that would be drawn to it. And now we get emails from pastors and pastors' wives and staff people all the time who are sending emails, and they're saying, we don't believe anything we're saying anymore, but it's our paycheck. We're caught in the middle of that, and we don't know what to do. People are disheartened. People are afraid, and they're grieving. And you have somebody who's willing to lead you into the unknown. That takes faith. It takes bravery. It takes courage. I am personally glad to be connected to Metron. I feel like I'm a part of your family. Even though I'm not here all the time, I feel like I'm a part of your family. Thank you for letting me be a part of the celebration.
John Scott, awesome. I really appreciate that. Since he's here today, I'd like Dr. Ralph to come up and just say a word to you. You know, he just lost, just a few days ago, his only sibling. She transitioned, and so it's been you know, he knows all the right things to say, but that's still something when your sister passes. And you know, I love Ralph and Frances. They're a very next level couple, because Frances makes no bones about this is her tribe and she found it. I mean, she's like defensive about it. You know, like somebody doesn't like Metro and she's like, well, I'll just kill you. I mean, she's like, I mean, y'all think y'all drink the Kool-Aid? Believe me, she spiked it and then she drank it. But but I wanted you to know, because Doc has told me this on more than one occasion when they've taken Ken and me out. He says, I'm glad that she's there. He said he has to be somewhere else because he maintains an office and sometimes speaks there. And at first I was a little awkward about it. I said, are you sure you're okay with her? And he says, no. He said, Metron has brought her back to life. I'm glad that she's there. They're totally secure. I've really learned a lot about the way relationships should be, that you let people be free and be who they are. And I love that about them. And now some of you don't know Corey. If your mouth's on fire from the jambalaya, you've met Corey. But that's Francis' son. And he's recently come and is just about the same way. It's like, well, this is my tribe I was looking for. And again, Doc is totally fine with that. But I kind of knew Dr. Martin. We kind of knew of each other for years, but didn't know each other until, I guess, the last couple of years, really. And I always say he's a sage, and he's just a fine man. First thing I do every morning when I get up, I send a heart to Ken to let him know I'm up. Because if he's here during the week, he left it before 6. I wasn't up then. And then the next thing is I get online, and one of the first things I look for is, well, what's Doc said today? And I can go ahead and like it before I read it, because I like whatever it is I'm about to read, I guarantee I already like it. So even though he's kind of in a quiet period right now because of his family, I can't let him be here today and not say a word to you. Would you please welcome Dr. Ralph Martin? Just come up and say a word to us. Just whatever you want to say.
Love you too. Amen. It's an honor to be here today and to be with all you, and I know of no other better people than to turn my wife over to. And because really y'all have been a lifesaver to her, and also now with Corey coming, I just thank you. Amen. Because again, everything connects. Everything, the laws of attraction, everything will attract after his own kind. And you were a frequency before you probably knew you were a frequency.
Wow.
sending out a vibration. Because we are thinking frequency, living in a vibrational universe. And the laws of attraction is what connects us all together. And I am so thankful for you. Last week, as Bishop said, my sister just moved from one location to another. And last week, I really appreciate so much Frances because of her wisdom. She said to me Tuesday on the way down there, she said, now listen, I want you to listen to me now. Don't hear me, listen to me. That's the difference. I said, okay. She said, you know they're going to ask you to speak at your sister's funeral. Yeah, I don't want you to. And the reason why, because where they're at, you can't dumb it down enough for them to understand it. And you have gone too far to come back without it messing up your vibration. So just be quiet, smile, and say thank you. So one lady come up to me, and she really, really, really wanted me to get on her frequency, and I couldn't. She said, kept telling me 3 times, I know you're going to miss her. I finally, no, I'm not going to miss her. That throwed her. How can you not miss your sister? Because she's not going nowhere. Well, you will miss her voice. No, I already heard her today. Wow. You already heard her? Yeah. What is she saying? Ralph, you were right. And she looked at me and said, do what? And how many ever been fishing? You ever been fishing with a cane pole and you get a fish on you, you know how it pulls? I was holding Francis' hand, so I felt the pull like a fish. Yeah, she said, zip it. Just be quiet. Just be quiet. But I'm so grateful because truly, Francis and I, though it was prophesied over us 20, 30 years ago by Bishop Bill Hammond, that we would come on the same level. On the same level. And that's what Metron has done. It has taken Frances and elevated her to a higher frequency. To a higher frequency. And now we walk together as one. And when you're one, there's no division. So it can't be jealous unless both of us jealous, and we ain't gonna, neither one of us going to go there. So we are each other's own cheerleader. And I'm so grateful for Metron, Bishop, Ken, and everybody here. Thank you so much for taking care of my family.
Love it. Wow. Man. I got nothing else to say. It was just, I'd post, and yet I'm saying something. What I was going to say is what I posted yesterday. A lot of you, this is your first time in Piedmont Park. This is kind of holy ground for me. I mean, I grew up here. Back in the 60s, we used to come here, look at hippies, and in the 70s, I was an evangelist. I used to stand up there, right up there, and preach. And I'd come to the arts festival and preach over a bullhorn. And I've passed out thousands of tracts here. Walked around and laid hands on people, casting demons out of them, I thought. Right up there. And I remember when I was married to Jared and Christina's mom, on Christina's due date, we were ready to have the baby. And I remember coming out here before dawn and walking, waiting for Christina to be born. Then when the kids were born, I brought them here all the time to play. When my grandkids were born, I brought them here all the time to play. 28 Peachtree Road races have culminated in here. Ken and I, 2.5 years ago, had our wedding reception right over there in that building. It was an amazing day. So it's like the memories are so layered here that it's just a heady experience for me to be here, and then to add you guys, because this is our third celebration. 2 years ago we were up there and we outgrew that. Then we came over here, and it looks like we've just about outgrown this space. And I'm not about numbers, but it's just cool to see that there's that kind of gravitational pull. And so on a day like today, there's a few times when I could sit and listen to John Scott sing all day. I mean, he's, as far as I'm concerned, and I'm not just talking about his speaking ability, but he's as good as anybody I've ever heard anywhere. And if he said, I've got 100 songs to sing, I'd be like, well, I'm going to need something to drink sometime in there, but all right, what number are we on? 43? Good, let's go. Keep them coming. I just don't want to wear him out, but I'm that much of a fan. But to have these guys here today, I was just a couple times when he was singing, it's nearly, I don't want to sound too ethereal, but it's nearly like an out-of-body experience. It's like my past, present, and future have all come together and manifested in an area that I love. And I know that for most of you, this isn't your neighborhood, so thank you for loving it because I love it. That means a lot to me. I know that most of you, even at Joe's service the other day, Leslie, I don't know if you heard me say this, but several people came to me and said, oh, God, we just miss hearing your voice. We miss hearing your voice. If we could just hear your voice. And I said, well, I speak every Sunday. They're, oh, God, we could never. It's like you said, I'm in the rainforest. It's like, and it didn't even make me mad. I just thought, well, that's the mindset they have, and that's why they can't go. I'm not saying you have to come to Midtown, but I'm saying if you're not willing to at least challenge a little bit of your comfort zone physically, you're never going to challenge your comfort zone emotionally or spiritually. And so, thank you. Because this is where I want to be, and thank you for honoring that and coming here and loving it too. I know a lot of you don't have a history here, so thank you for making it a part of your history. If you don't know, after the Civil War in Atlanta was just decimated and literally burned, Henry W. Grady was very ahead of his time, and he brought something here called the Cotton States Exposition. It was like what they used to have when they called them World's Fairs. And that's why when you see these stone steps, they totally recreated. They had Venice here, like you could get in a gondola and ride. They had all these, Booker T. Washington spoke. It was the first time. Now, this was their terminology, but it's the first time they had a colored section and that where people could come and you have to understand that was the 1800s, but it was at the time was considered very ahead of its time. The first motion picture was shown here. It was just a few minutes. It was called The Kiss, and it was just a few seconds of a man kissing a woman. It was considered X-rated at the time, and you had to be adult. They had clothes on. It was just them kissing, but it showed right up here. So you're in and the Cotton States Exposition saved Atlanta. It's what Atlanta became a metropolitan area because of this. It brought so much commerce. It was here for like a year and a half, and so everything that was lost during the Civil War was brought back during the Cotton States Exposition. And what's really interesting, I know. I've been posting things lately, even just this week. It just seems coincidental, but it's happening so much that it seems like something else is going on. It's just been happening, past, present, future. What? Yeah. And even as recently as last night, I met John at the hotel where they had set up a studio. I did the podcast, and then Ken and I had already eaten. I said, I don't really want to go out to dinner. Let's just go home. I said, let's walk up to the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. I'd like to see the progress on it, because we like to walk and watch the sunset, and he takes amazing pictures, and it's kind of our thing. And we haven't been able to really do that in several months because he's with his dad most of the time now. So the time we have together is very precious, and. So we were walking, and I said, when we got through, I said, I'm going to walk back to CVS because I need to get some cologne. I don't want to go to the mall. So we walked down Peachtree, and I'd never noticed this before, but we looked, and we were standing right where Atlanta started. It was called, even before it was called Terminus, It was called Thrasherville, and it's right there where all the railroad station, the tracks all come together. There used to be a big station there, but it's right there where Phillips Arena is and all that. But it was, I don't know, it was just interesting because I'm thinking so much about prophecies that were spoken over Atlanta and why I love it so much and why I think it's a part of a grander scheme of things. And I don't think it's perfect, but when other cities were just doing horrible things during the civil rights movement, at least Atlanta was called the city too busy to hate. At least we don't have no reflection on those of you from Alabama or Mississippi, but at least we don't have film footage of African Americans being, hit with, at least we don't have that. And so this is where Dr. King was born, and it could be argued was the cradle of the civil rights movement. I know Montgomery was a huge, but Atlanta was too. There wouldn't, there wouldn't have been a civil rights movement in the 60s without Martin Luther King, and he's from Atlanta. Even, I'm not boring you with history, am I? Even as we were walking up Peachtree last night, we were walking in front of the Georgia Pacific building, and that's where Lowe's Theater used to be, where Gone with the Wind premiered in 1939. Across the street now, they've got a little monument to Margaret Mitchell. But I was even thinking about when Daddy King was the pastor of Ebenezer. He spoke at my high school graduation in 1976. But in 1939, when it came, he had a relationship with Margaret Mitchell, and they were the only black church that celebrated Gone with the Wind because the other black churches considered it racist. And he was like, no, y'all don't understand. She's a friend of mine, and she supports Morehouse College and all. It's just all those things that I think we're kind of a manifestation of that kind of thinking. Do you know what I mean? It's like we all coexist together, and one thing doesn't cancel out the other thing. And I don't know. My antenna is just out, and I'm just feeling it. It's like I don't even feel time anymore. What I posted on Facebook is my granddaughters just started back to school. So I picked them up 3 days a week. So on Wednesday of this week was the first day I picked them up. And Olivia comes out first. She's in second grade this year. And I said, Olivia, when I went to school, I started in second grade. And just as I said it, I looked up, and we were standing in front of my second grade classroom. I said, this was Miss Shelnutt's class. I sat right in there. And it was like all of a sudden, there wasn't any time. I can't explain it, but it's like the 50-something years between then and now didn't exist. It just seems to me that the now is manifesting. It's not the name of a church that I started 30 years ago. It's a concept. It's a reality that we're all walking in. And I just know that you all know that and that you're manifesting that. Leslie? Well, come here. Because Start over so everybody can hear you.
Okay, I'm just feeling so strong, all the places that our feet have been. So I remember the Sunday night that we all went to Eatonton. I used to spend summers with my aunt and uncle, and so I know Eatonton. And we went to John Scott's church, and Joe and I left there. We said, oh, my God, we got to pray for that boy. Because we knew what he was preaching, and he was not in a safe place. And we went down there. And we plowed up that ground so that Ken and you could find one another. That was what we did when we went down there. We said, oh, there's more of us. And we called him out. And you found each other. And I just love that. So all the places, I'm going to watch it here, all the messed up places that we've been in, all those situations, though, that we were plowing that ground, and the seed, it doesn't fall to the ground and die unless it needs to. And all of that is being resurrected, and we know, we're so one. I'm not telling you anything that you don't know, and it's just so exciting. And I thank you, because Joe and I just had such purpose with Metron. And I know we're going to do everything that was prophesied, everything that we've prophesied over ourselves. The strongest prophecy of all of what we say about ourselves. So just live, and just think of all that ground you've plowed and all the harvest. Woo!
Lord have mercy. No, I do believe that. I mean, there's a reason why, Doc, when God spoke to Abraham, he said, every place the sole of your foot touches is yours. And sometimes, back in the charismatic movement, we used to do things like, you drive to some city and walk around it or whatever. But that stuff wasn't all flaky. I mean, sometimes there was something about literally going to a place and speaking to it. I remember when I was younger, I remember being at the Fox Theater, and we had gone to something, and the crowd had broken up, and you're not even supposed to get on the stage. I just jumped up on the stage, and I said, I will sing on this stage, and jumped off. And like a year later, I got invited. That's when my song had just come out, It's the Anointing, and they had the cathedral. My uncle had a big thing there with T.L. Osborne. And I stood there a year later and sang It's the Anointing with the Atlanta Symphony, a part of the Atlanta Symphony Orchestra. And I thought, this happened because I got on the stage and said in this geographical area, even though there's really no space and time, sometimes the only way we can get our faith around it is to actually go there physically. And so, no, it was amazing when I first met Ken, and I said, I covered a church in Eatonton. And I said, I have a friend, like one of my best friends is out there now, Robert Rutherford. He had no idea. And Eatonton's not a big place. I mean, he knows everybody that grew up there. Just found out last night that Robin's best friend from 30 years, Robin, who lives in Alabama, grew up with you. I mean, it's like we just keep connecting the dots. And y'all didn't even know that till last night. Because she went to the school that his sons went to. So we just, you could say, you live in a city, it's obvious that people are going to overlap. Not necessarily. There's people that live next door to each other that never meet each other. So, something, I don't even know that I want to define it, but something is trying to manifest. And it is manifesting. And I don't even think we have to have a name for it. One thing that Dr. Dispenza kept saying last week, it's interesting because he kept talking so much about understanding why your brain works the way it works, but nearly on the heels of every time he explained something, he would say, but don't try to fully understand it. You always have to embrace the mysterious. And I thought, thank you, because I don't want to get so scientific that I miss the I am part of it. The I am that can't be defined, the God who can't be defined, the God who can't be named. And we've all met him in different ways. A few days ago when Eddie was talking about his Pentecost, there's a way he said it. He said his Pentecostal grandmother with that bun on the back of her head walk in, and he had a fever, and she'd say, "What's wrong with you, baby?" And she laid hands on him. He spoke in tongues like she did. I felt it. I think if I'd had a fever, it would have left. Now, I'm not Pentecostal. I don't identify as Pentecostal necessarily, but I knew exactly what he was talking about. And it's all a part of our, even, I think she's already left now, but even the conversation I had with Lana earlier, because Lana is brilliant. She's one of the smartest women I've ever known. And Lana's in a very different place than most Christians are. But even she just said, no, I just wanted to come today because so much of trying to prove you're right or wrong is all about ego. And I said, no, exactly. That's why you can lead worship, and I've got my hands up. And if you want to lead a meditation, I'm like, let's go. And I love having that kind of freedom. And that's what we are now. The New Testament called it a people who are not. You are a people who were not. And what are we? Well, I don't know. I mean, they ate manna in the wilderness for 40 years and never knew what to call it. The word manna literally is a question that means, what is it? So every day they ate it, and they said, well, what is it? So when somebody said, well, what is Metron? It's a what is it? I don't know. That's why when somebody says, do you pastor a church? I'm like, yeah. I am a pastor to certain people who hear my voice, but Metron's not a church, and I don't want it to be, because I think church is a state of mind. I think we're two or more gathered together. If you go meet somebody for lunch and you're talking about good things, it's church. I like that we're undefinable. I think Church in the Now is indefinable. I think Metron broke the mold. I don't even know how to explain it. Because it's definitely, we were talking about this the other night, it's not a gay church, and yet you just married 2 men, and we were all like, well, okay, congratulations. I mean, that's kind of unheard of. Congratulations! We got a lot of singers here. You want somebody to sing? So anyway. So my heart is very full. Let's, why don't we do this? We have the place till 11, but could you guys do one more song, and then we'll sort of officially dismiss, and then you hang out as long as you want. But please, who's in charge of cleanup? Roz is going to tell you what to do. So don't give her any lip, because she's a teacher and she does a prison ministry. That's the twofold. In other words, she will not take nothing off. Let's just all stand together and just have a moment. And once again, tell John and the guys how much we appreciate them being here.
Finding myself at a loss for words, and the funny thing is, it's okay. The last thing I need is to be heard, but to hear you would say, word of God speak, pour down a light rain, washing my eyes to see your majesty, to be still and know you're in this place. Please let me stay and rest in your God speak. Yeah. Finding myself in the midst of you, beyond music, beyond noise. All that I need is to be with you in the quiet. Hear your voice, so word of God speak. For now like rain, washing my eyes to see your to be still and know you're in this place. Please let me stay and rest in your holiness. So word of God speak, pour down like rain, washing my eyes to see your majesty, to be still and know that you're in this place. Please let me stay and rest in your holiness. The word of God speak. Yeah. Finding myself at a loss for words, and the funny thing is, it's okay.
Well, Leslie, I love you so much. I'm so glad to see you today. And not calling out a bunch of names, but I see a lot of you all the time. I love every one of you here. And Tony, I'm really glad to see you. And thank you all for coming. I can't imagine. Some of you been under here for 20 years plus. What I've learned in 5 years. Speak it. I've never been told to do that. And it works. But for y'all to have been under his ministry all those years, and now I'm part of y'all and you're a part of me. I love him more every day. I love y'all more every day. And I'm so blessed to have all of you in my life. So thank you all for coming. We love you, Ken. I love y'all. Next year's going to be even better. So get ready.